On today's episode of Anime Afterthought, Fire Force Season 2, Episode 22, Plot for Extinction. Oh, yes, she's back. Oh, I'm so glad to see her back. Like, when they first announced that Maki was leaving Company 8, I thought it was some kind of cruel trick. But then to actually see her leave, I was like, oh shit, this is real. They're really doing this. But thank God it was only a couple episodes and she literally showed up to not only save the day, she literally saved Tokyo. Like, oh no, there goes Tokyo. Thank God for Maki. Today's episode was amazing, honestly. I loved every minute of it. We start out with this awesome fight between Shinra and Giovanni. It's still going on, but they definitely stepped up the art and animation. Like, it's amazing what they do with these fire effects. And I gotta say, Giovanni is just the creepiest guy in this series. I mean, he's not mentally the creepiest. I think, Homia or Inka has that, but just design-wise, this dude is legit freaking creepy. And the thing is these bug modifications are actually serving a purpose. Like, although it looks like Shinra at first has the upper hand, it looks like they're really doing nothing. Even when backed into a corner with Shinra and Arthur fighting against him, it looks like he's pulling out even more of these modifications he's done to his body. Not only being able to retract his head to evade a plasma cut decapitation from Arthur, but then he begins to emit this superheated gas, which is actually something an insect in the real world can actually do. It has this ability to shoot out this ass blast of gas. Now, it wouldn't be an anime though if they wouldn't have time to actually have these full-length conversations during the battle, but it seems like Giovanni has made a misstep. He decides to bring up Sho. Now, this pisses Shinra off, and he goes full on devil face, like, hey, where the fuck's my brother? And oh my god, like, I don't know what's going on. Why is she doing this to Sho? We cut to where Sho is actually at, because Giovanni's like, right now, I think Homie is taking pretty good care of him. She literally dresses him up in some kind of royal Victorian type outfit, is putting lipstick on him, and he is just in some kind of mental daze. I'm assuming thanks to Homia and her ability to manipulate like the brain's synapses using her electricity, but like, it's fucking creepy as shit. Even Arrow is disgusted by what's going on. When she looks away, Homie is like, no, you will sit there and you will fucking watch me play with my doll. I'm like, dude, this is fucking creepy. Why? Like, is it because Shinra got close to Sho and almost like pulled him from the evangelist grasp and they're re-brainwashing his ass? Like, I have no clue, but to do it this way is just, it sent shivers down my spine. But like I said, Giovanni made a misstep. You brought up Sho in front of Shinra, and of course, it does not end well. Yes, Giovanni has the ability to sense a person's movement, but Shinra has the ability to move faster than light itself. So fast, in fact, that he can actually travel back in time. So he's like, hey, fuck this. You might be able to sense what I'm doing, but if you can't react to it, I'm gonna get a hit. And boy, howdy, does he get a hit. The weight in, dynamicism? I mean, this scene is so impactful. Like, you feel every single hit that is happening to Giovanni, especially when he is sent through wall after wall after wall, and the camera angles are just fucking amazing. Like, this whole sequence is so badass. But once again, the action is cut. Like I said, they're finding time to have these full-length conversations where Shinra is just pounding the shit out of him and decides to bring up, ooh, I've known you were evil ever since I had that Adala link with you. This completely gets Giovanni's rocks off. Like, wait a second, you had an Adala link with me? Like, some kind of giant fucking light bulb goes off in his head and he is just overly ecstatic. Apparently, only people that have Adala burst or are close with Adala itself or have been there, let's just call it a rarity, can actually have an Adala link. So these bug modifications he's been putting his body through seems to be paying off. That means, at least narratively, chronologically to us, he must have been doing these experiments for quite a while, as we see Shinra had this link back before Vulcan was even a member. That being said though, he does kind of bring up an interesting fact. Giovanni's not the only one one he has had a link with. Do you remember the Asuka invasion? He actually had a dollar link with Conroe. Now, even though this is a huge, giant development, there's not enough time to ponder on it because literally everybody in the Nether as well as above in Tokyo are literally about to die. We found out last week, thanks to Vulcan and Licht, that they're gearing up to do some kind of giant explosion. And Licht, being the big brain he is, has uncovered the fact that they're going to be using the Monroe effect, aligning the infernals as the explosions in a cone shape will actually increase the explosion's effectiveness. And in fact, pretty much all of Tokyo is about to get erased. Now, of course, this is an action series, so when things are getting tense and things are getting super heated, I mean, and there's only one person to really turn to in a moment of need. A second generation needs to step up. Someone who can manipulate these flames to alter their trajectory, you know, so countless lives are saved. And who, out of nowhere, decides to return at the perfect fucking moment? Well, it wasn't, you know, plot armor. There was actually set up to this. Thanks to Vulcan and that little number 8 badge, it turns out to be a, you know, a transponder, and someone was in constant contact. Yes, our favorite gorilla witch is back. Maki shows up to literally save everyone's ass, including Tokyo, and it's just, it's so amazing. That whole flame effect going through all the crevices and cracks in the Nether, rerouting every single flame down to the actual most bottom layer and utilizing the Earth's natural geothermic function. Basically, if you kept the flames down long enough, the Earth itself will basically dissipate them. And I gotta say, the look on Ritsu's face, even though she gave us a warning, if you pay attention to what she says this is just the beginning of the destruction. But to see her look up and realize that nothing has fucking happened, pure gold. I gotta say, I am so proud of Maki. And then we get that nice little interaction between her and her brother, who still is giving Takehise shit. But Takehise is the one bringing back Maki to the fold when she comes hat in hand saying, you know what, I want to come back to the 8. Like, please accept me. I'm like, oh my god, it's so cute. Our favorite witch and one of my favorite characters is back. Like, it was short, but I was so sad when she left. I'm so excited now. But like I said earlier, not only did Ritsu realize that nothing happened, but also Giovanni was expecting a big explosion. And I love the fact that Shinra taunted him saying, something missing? Were you expecting something to go boom? Yeah, that's how we Fire Force soldiers roll, motherfucker. But of course, while Shinra was taunting him, Arthur was doing straight work. He has mastered a move that supposedly takes, you know, mastered swordsmen thousands of years. Like, it's basically in a normal person's lifetime, it's impossible. The unthinkable move. Literally, it's where your body just moves. It's basically the whole theory behind Ultra Instinct from Dragon Ball Super. Like, this is legit. I mean, even Giovanni should be impressed, you know, if it wasn't for the fact that his head literally just got decapitated. But of course, this dude is a legit monster. Not only does a swarm of insects pop up out of him, but his head itself starts to sprout legs and takes off. Like, oh my god, I'm so fucking creeped out. So although we have what I assume is dozens, if not nearing, you know, triple digit casualties from the second, this is the aftermath. I mean, we survived the Nether. Ugh, so worse for wear though. Yes, Juggernaut is said to be alive. He is missing both an arm and a leg, and his body is just covered with cuts and burns, but he's alive. He's alive. And I gotta say, once again, it's another bittersweet moment where you see Tamaki just over his body, and luckily Honda is there to instill some confidence, or at least just try to cheer her up. Yes, Juggernaut saved her, but she also saved Juggernaut. I mean, remember the just giant pile of infernals barreling towards them? Remember the 2 other white clads? Like, literally, if she was just to leave him there, he probably would have died of blood loss first or been consumed by infernals. Like, she's really, really hard on herself, and it's hard to watch. But yeah, like I said, the greatest thing to take away from today's episode is the fact that Maki is back. Yes, it seems her father is still a little upset, but not that much. I mean, even the mother's there to console him, saying, you know what, she might get that second generation power from me, but her resolve and determination, her personality comes from you, honey. Like, you need to, like, understand this is who Maki is. And seeing her back with the 8th, messing with Arthur, just throwing his ass around for calling her a gorilla, joking with the other people. It was so nice to see her back. Like, I'm so glad. I'm glad it wasn't that long, because if we had a couple arcs without her, I would have been so pissed. But honestly, I'm so glad she's back. Now, next week's episode, I mean, you're not gonna bring back who I would consider a secondary character in this episode, not to kind of like to develop in the next one. But yeah, it looks like it's a Tamaki-centric episode trying to wrap in Conroe. At least we see Conroe, we see Benimaru, we see the little twins there, and we see Tamaki maybe going for some training. Like, I'm excited. We only have like a couple episodes left, and Jesus, this series is literally fire. I love it so much. Anyways, like I said, there's still some mysteries that need solving, but for the most part, we know who the enemies are, and even though they have this giant hold on humanity, I mean, literally Evangelist has created the Empire, the Holy Soul Temple, the Amaterasu, basically all of society, especially in Japan. I don't know if anywhere else, but in Japan, the Evangelist has touched this place with the sole purpose of its destruction. And it's supposedly this destruction is coming soon, as what Giovanni says, like, hey, right around the corner, you know, the pillars will gather and the great cataclysm will return. And I'm like, fuck. Anyways, did you guys enjoy today's episode? I fucking loved it. Like, I'm loving this series so much. With all that being said though, and more Fire Force next week, I honestly cannot wait for future episodes.